He was still alive when they started to eat him. The King of Cats by Witching Metal Productions. Again, I want to apologize in advance for what I'm about to do with this game. Santa Barbara, California, 1992. The rain patters lightly on the nylon cover hanging over the patio. The man stands next to his stool at the high table draped in gaudy, checkered cloth. He opens his second beer and stirs a bowl of clam chowder without particular interest. Val Fortunato, though this might be the worst chowder he's tasted in his life. He drops the spoon into the soup and glances around the restaurant. The place is practically empty, just a quaint little house on an ugly property that consists mostly of mud and cement. A row of California palm trees lined on the side of this lot, marking the border between the next property over. Val leans against the table and sips his beer and waits. 30 minutes and another beer and a half pass before the contact finally arrives. The man parks his car and hurries through the lot, shielding himself from the rain as he trots along. Finally! I feel like I've been waiting the whole day. Sorry about that. I just had to make a few calls. He's a slender man with slacks and a coat and tie. The seller brushes off the rain of his clothes and sits at the stool directly across from Val. Not a problem. You want some dinner? Something to drink? Sure, why not? I drove 2.5 hours to come here. I could use a bite and a beer. They call over the waiter as he takes their orders. The man orders 2 beers and asks for a rare steak and a side of baked potatoes. And you, sir? How's the chowder? It's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. The waiter is taken aback by how plainly Val tells it to him. I want something else. Let me get the same thing. Steak and a side of baked potatoes. Val orders the same thing, a steak and a side of baked potatoes. After the waiter leaves, the 2 men wait in silence for a moment. So, I hear you're in the market for cats. That's right. And I also hear any old zoo cat won't do. It has to be a special cat. You heard right. The man folds his hands on the table and smiles. I have something that will make your partners very happy. These cats are really something else. I got them out of the San Diego Zoo just in time. Another few hours and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Jesucristo. That bad? Yeah, 2 whole litters of them. Even the damn cubs. Naturally, if you take them all, I'll cut you a nice discount. Naturally. So, what do you say? You want the whole lot? The waiter arrives again with their food and drinks. He lays out the steak and potatoes and 2 beers in front of the seller, then puts the Val's steak. You gentlemen enjoy. The men stay silent until the waiter walks out of earshot. So, how's the steak? I don't know. I've had better. If I'm being honest, I wish I didn't order anything in the first place. I should have stuck with the bread. At least that's free. Val pulls a checkbook out of his pocket and lays it on the table. Let's discuss these cats. You got a pen? When Val arrives back to his hotel room, he goes straight to the phone to call his longtime friend and business partner, David Kemp, Doctor of Wildlife Biology. The man on the phone speaks with a gruff and short tone. Hello? David, it's me. I met the seller. The deal seems legit. The man on the phone breathes a sigh of relief. Excellent. Well, how many cats did you buy? About a dozen, mostly cubs. From what I understand, the adults teach their cubs, so they were just gonna put the whole litter down. Jesus, even the cubs? Hey, those people are the real animals. What a noble sentiment. Somebody should make a movie about that idea. Hey, I'm serious. How can you live with yourself after murdering a baby animal? Alright, Dave, I get you. I'm just busting your balls. I know. Are you making the arrangement with our longshoreman? Yeah, I'm on it, Dave. Is everything lined up in Tijuana? Naturally. One of my former colleagues pointed me to a gentleman by the name of, well, I don't remember. Something Spanish in any case. He wants as many cats as he can get. Excellent. I'll call you when we're about to leave port. Nah. Call me as soon as you set things up. I want to come along. On the sheep? You gotta be shitting me. That's gonna look suspicious as hell. I don't care. It's a major investment. I want to see it through. And I'm also bringing a friend along. His name's Lindsay. I think you'll get along with him. He's no nonsense kind of guy. If you say so, Dave. And I'm also bringing Joey along. What the hell for? If we get into trouble with any kind of any local authorities, he'll come in real handy. He's got connections in California. He'll use them to put out any fires, so to speak. Alright, I'll call you as soon as we have the shipping date. Good. I'll see you then. The man on the other line hangs up the phone. Val sits in the silent hotel and stares out the window. The rain is coming down harder now than before. He doesn't like the idea of David coming along for the ride, let alone two of his lackeys. But as the 2/3 shareholder and a big money spender, David is technically the boss. Val has no power but to make suggestions. He tries to pick up the phone and calls the longshoreman to arrange a transport for his newly bought cats. October 18th, 1992. On board the cargo ship, USS Black Grove. The cargo ship left port 4 hours ago. The sun is setting in the red evening sky. The Black Grove is sailing towards Tijuana, Mexico. Val enters the commons and scans the room. He spots 2 men he recognizes, plus some members of the ship's crew. Ray Lindsay is the muscle that Dr. Kemp hired, bald, with a steel gray mustache. He's a fit man with a pair of khaki shorts and sandals, contrasting the leather jacket over his rolled-up button-down shirt. Lindsay's outfit is like an international mercenary turned aging summer dad. The huge revolver holstered on his belt completes the look. Joey Haynes is Dr. Kemp's lawyer. He got dragged along to deal with any problems with California authorities. Now that they've left the States, his work is done and he's just along for the ride. His shirt is unbuttoned and his sleeves are rolled up, and his wife beater is sweat-soaked. The two men are hunched over the counter while they drink shots of scotch from the mini fridge. They turned around and acknowledged Val. "Hey Val, you want some?" We were playing a little guessing game. "Oh yeah? Yeah. What Dr. Kemp's big secret cargo?" "Oh, you mean the cows?" Joey cackles loudly. "This fucking guy." "No, not the cattle. Dr. Kemp obviously didn't bring me and Mr. Haynes along to protect cattle. It's gotta be something stored with the cattle. Or maybe inside them? It's just beef for some big Mexican zoo." "Are you sure? I mean, have you seen any cows?" "Lindsay, this man is David Kemp's business partner. I'd wager he knows all about secret cargo." "Is that right? What is it then?" Cats, just a bunch of cats." The two men stare blankly. "Cats? Yes, exquisite cats. Cats specifically bred for the highest paying bidders in Mexico. And I suppose exquisite cat conventions are generally held in Tijuana?" "Naturally." "Did you say cats?" "Yes, Joey. He said cats." "I want to know what kind of cats we're talking about. Big cats? Dangerous cats?" Val shrugs. I don't think they're dangerous. They're just for some wealthy breeders." "Mexican cat breeders, huh?" In any case, we've tranquilized them for the duration of the trip." "Why'd you say that if they're not dangerous?" To keep them calm. We don't want to scrape up a mountain cat shit after that we dock." "Hold on a second." He sways drunkenly in his seat. "There's one thing I'm still not clear about. What are the cats doing on a boat?" "I'm starting to regret this." Joey laughs. "I didn't know there were going to be cats in the mix. Can we go play with them?" "What?" You guys said they were cats," he meows. "Cats like to play." "They're tranquilized, Joey. He just told us that. Maybe you need to be tranquilized so you don't throw yourself overboard by mistake." Joey cackles and his face turns livid. "That's a good one. Real good. Anyway, there's nothing to worry about. Dave and I have it under control." Val gestures to the drunken lawyer. Just to keep an eye on this guy. Just keep an eye on this guy. Just make sure he doesn't fall off the boat. And the last thing we need is drowning on our hands." In the Black Grove's helm, Captain Frank Weller fiddles with the radio. Heavy rain beats down on the windows as the ship sails southbound. Ship security officer Genevieve Jean Antonia is on the captain's side listening on the call. What is going on, Captain? Some kind of problem with the cargo. Hold on a second. The audio is distorted and difficult to understand. The voice of Sailor Brian Morrison crackles through the speaker. Cargo hold, over. Say again, you're breaking up, over. There's something wrong and I don't know what's going. Say again, over. I don't like this, Frank. First we're playing cruise ship and $1 million in this little posse. First we are playing cruise ship with $1 million in his posse, and now a problem with the cargo. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's just a weird coincidence. I don't know. It's a weird coincidence. You saw the manifest, right? He's just shipping calves for zoo lions. He's probably here to help his staff feed and care for them. Relax, alright? If there's something wrong with the animals, we need to let him know. I'll call his cabin once we know what's going on. It could just be a loose door or something. A loose door? Maybe some cows got loose? Who knows? The speaker continues crackling. Brian's voice comes through clearly for a moment. Send somebody down and with some chains and padlocks, over. The call cuts out. Roger that, sailor. Sending someone down, over. Sailor Taylor? Yes, sir. Grab some chains and padlocks from the storage and take them to the cargo hold. And be quick about it. Yes, sir. The seaman marches away dutifully. Captain Walker gets back on the radio. Sailor Morrison, this is Captain Walker. I'm sending Eric Taylor to help you out. Over. Nothing comes through the speaker but static. Brian, do you read me? Over. More static. Jean gives him a grave stare. I'm going down there after him. I'm going down there after him? What for? If something goes wrong, we'll hear about it any minute now. The safety of the cargo is my responsibility. I'm going down there. Excuse me, Captain. She storms out of the helm and hurries after Sailor Morrison. He's joined by second mate Florian Cruz. Hey, Cap. What was that all about? John's buried about a millionaire's cows. What for? We are locked and loaded with combat shotguns. We don't need to worry about a bunch of illiterate pirates. No, it's not the pirates she's worried about. Then what? Then what? I don't know. Something about a millionaire and his cows? Excuse me. He holds up the speaker and speaks. John? Any updates? Over. In the cargo hold, a distinct sound of crackling radio echoes through the austere metal halls. The distorted voice of Captain Walker comes through in a mess of white noise. Brian, do you read me? Over. Sailor Brian Morrison clicks his radio off and latches it to his belt. He scans the hold with a tranquilizer rifle. He scans the hold with a tranquilizer rifle trembling in his hands. The cargo is dimly lit. Several light bulbs seem to not work at all. The only exit is a few yards away. But with each step, he takes thunders through the metal hall. He steps slowly and dutifully towards the door. Just as he reaches the door, someone on the other side spins the valve and swings open the door. There's a man on the other side of the door. Brian levels the tranquilizer rifle at the stranger. Hey, chill out, it's me. Jesus, Eric, you scared me. He lowers the rifle. Come on, let's get out of here and lock up the door. Huh? What's going on? There's a bunch of goddamn cats loose. Cats? What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, big orange tigers. Holy shit, you tell the captain? Of course I did. Now grab those chains and come on. They exit the cargo and push the heavy metal door shut and stand in the downpour. Eric Taylor holds up the chains like they're piles of slimy worms slicked in rain. Come on, man. Don't you know how to seal a door? Give me the goddamn thing. Eric haphazardly dumps the chain into Brian's hands. Brian lifts the heavy chains and drops them on the metal door. The valve creaks open and the door slides ajar under the weight of the chains. Shit! Close that fucking thing before... The door flings open and smacks Brian Morrison, sending him stumbling backwards. He levels the tranquilizer rifle in the general direction of the door and fires. The dart clangs against the bulkhead. There's nothing visible in the shadows beyond the open door. The door creaks in vain in the rain. But something growls. Oh shit. Brian racks the bolt of the tranquilizer rifle and fishes around his pockets for another dart. Shoot the goddamn thing, man! Shut up and let me... The tiger lunges out from the shadows without a sound. It moves with impossible speed. It grabs Eric and tackles him to the deck in the falling rain. The big cat locks its snarling jaws around its throat and clamps down. His neck breaks so quickly that it doesn't have time to scream. The animal drops his limp body on the wet deck and turns its head back at Brian with dilated eyes. He doubles back to cargo door, boots squeaking against the slick metal as the tiger paws patter behind him. He lunges through the doorway and pulls the door shut behind him. It shuts with such force that it nearly bounces back ajar. But he quickly grabs the valve and puts it back before the animal can slip inside. He tries to spin the valve the valve to seal the door, but his slick hands slide off the wet metal. "Come on, you bastard!" Something growls behind him, and his stomach feels like concrete. He turns around slowly and extends the flaps of his coat to make himself look bigger. And he freezes with horror when he sees the rest of the litter in the cargo hold. Standing between rows of huge crates, an adult tiger watches him with a pair of cubs at its flanks. Another dozen feet back, there's another family of tigers, 2 adults and some cubs. Brian doesn't care to count them all. The adult is frozen in a walking posture with dilated eyes fixed on him curiously. Somewhere in his mind it reminds him of a cat playing with its toy, and his terror becomes extreme. He drops a coat flap and uses his free hand to procure the 3 darts from his pocket. The tigers watch him curiously. They seem hesitant to make a move. Brian can hear the big male outside clawing at the door. He fixes the rifle at the nearest adult cat. Then, he chambers 1 dart and clamps the other between his 2 teeth. He mutters through his clenched jaws, "Say goodnight, you big bastard." He squeezes the trigger, and the sound of compressed air startles the big animal and sends it nearly 60 feet into the air. The dart whizzes past the adult and hits a tiny cub across the room. The little animal cries out pitifully. The animal darts around in a collective manner before they can calm down and refocus their attention on Brian. In their eyes, he sees a great primordial firestorm bearing down upon him. He lets out his breath slowly. Oh no. Jean stomps down the stairwell to lower the deck with a cargo hold. "John, any updates? Over." "I'm almost there. Hang on. Over." When she rounds the next corner, she beholds a sight of baffling horror. She sees Brian Morrison stagger through the door and slam it shut behind him. All the while, a large tiger jogs playfully through the rain towards the newly sealed door. The cat regards the closed door with puzzlement, then turns around to toy with its new plaything. Eric Taylor lies in a crumpled pile soaking in the rain. Blood drips down his arms and washes down the metal door. A tranquilizer dart protrudes from the animal's shoulder, but it doesn't seem to mind very much. Jean takes careful and quiet steps back to cover up the stairs. When she reaches the upper deck, she breaks into a sprint and rips the radio from her belt. "Mayday! Captain! Mayday! Come in, over." "What's going on, Jean?" There is a goddamn tiger loose on the ship, over." She reaches the top of the stairs and runs down the deck towards the helm. "A what?" "Get the shotguns, Frank, out." While the 3 men sit at the counter and drink, somebody sprints past the windows. Val and Lindsay startled. Joey does not notice. What was that?" "It looked like a member of a crew. Couldn't tell." "What the hell are you guys talking about?" "Nothing, Joey. Go back to sleep." "I wasn't sleeping." "Then have another drink, and let the adults handle the situation." Lindsay stands up from the stool and marches towards the door. "Where are you going?" Dr. Kemp's cabin. I'm going to have a word with him. Oh, wait a minute. About what? About the cargo. God damn it. What's wrong? Nothing, Joey. Don't worry about it. Val hurries out of the commons and follows Lindsay. Joey chuckles to himself while he fills up another glass. Guess the old boy can't handle his liquor. Jean bursts into the helm and slams the door shut behind her. She frantically spins the valve to secure the door. Frank, Cruz, and the navigator, Mike Kroger, watch in baffled silence. They are armed with 3 or 4 SPAS 12 shotguns, kept in the helm. John, what's going on? She rushes to the case and grabs the 4th gun. There is a goddamn animal on the loose. It killed Taylor. Oh my god. Killed? What about Morrison? He locked himself inside the cargo hold. I think he's fine. Have we heard from him on the radio? No. I've been calling. Oh god. You think there could be more of them? Horrified silence hangs over the room. Jean finishes loading the shotguns and moves towards the door. I need one of you to come with me. Well, I need to stay here. I've just turned the ship around and radioed Santa Barbara. I need to answer them if they call. Mike, why don't you go? What? Hold on. I need to stay here and navigate the ship. We don't have time to argue. Somebody, anybody, come with me. She marches out of the helm, toting her shotgun, and leaves for the door in the rain. Frank and Mike stare awkwardly at each other before Cruz speaks. I'll go. I probably have the second most range time after John. Between the two of us, I'm sure we'll be fine. Who accompanies Jean to the cargo hold? First mate Florian Cruz. Alright, be careful. And Mike? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have volunteered you. Kroger shrugs. Day, it happens. I'll stay on the radio and let you know if anything comes up. I'll latch the door behind you. Cruz nods and hurries to the door. When Lindsay arrives in the cabins, he firmly latches the door behind him. He takes a dozen steps before somebody opens it again. It's Val Fortunato. He closes and latches the door behind him. Hey Lindsay, hold on. I wanted a quick word with you. Well, what is it? He hesitates. I wouldn't want to bother Dave if I were you. He's a bit irritable about the whole situation. You think I'm worried about him firing me? Lindsay scoffs. If you want me to get upset at your friend, why don't you tell me something what's in the cargo? Val rubs his brows and sighs heavily. Alright, look. I'm sorry for being evasive earlier, but Dave made me swear silence. When I said we're shipping caps, I was only kinda lying. They're actually, what you say, tigers. Man-eating tigers. Excuse me? Yeah, I know. I was telling a youth about them being tranquilized. But I guess I didn't give them enough. I'm assuming there were never an actual veterinarian involved. Dave thought he could figure out the doses on the account of his biology degree. Lindsay rolls his eyes and laughs humorlessly. I don't believe this shit. He storms down the hall to Kemp's cabin even quicker than before. He lets loose a storm of knocks on the cabin door. Dr. Kemp, I need to speak with you immediately. He stops knocking and waits. Silence. Lindsay glares at Val, who gives him a blank shrug. I don't know. I guess he left. Maybe the captain called him to the helm. Or maybe he went to the commons around the opposite side of the ship. Where do Val and Lindsay go? To the helm. Let's go to the helm. Let's go to the helm. I'd like to speak with the captain anyways. Okay, let's go. The horizon is dark purple as the light fades to night. Jean jogs to the bottom of the stairs and steps cautiously towards the cargo hold. The captain speaks on the intercom and his voice thunders in the rainy expanse. He warns the crew to lock themselves in their current locations until further notice. Jean rounds the corner and spots the cargo hold door swinging and opens its hinges. Somebody dropped the chains in the doorway, preventing it from fully closing. There's no blood or any sign of a struggle. Jean steps slowly through the rain and approaches the swinging door. Light footfalls thud on the metal steps behind her. It's first mate Cruz. Hey. Come on. I think they're inside. She points at the door. Follow me and watch my back. Cruz nods. Jean steps closer to the door with the barrel of the shotgun pointed into the dark scope aperture. She reaches the door and pushes it open cautiously. Then she bolts the door open to keep it from swinging shut. Jean enters the dim cargo hold while Florian Cruz stands outside and watches her back. She scans the room quickly. It's completely empty. No sign of Morrison or Taylor. No sign of any tigers. Jesus Christ, what's going on? John, the cats, they're outside. Jean swings around and points her shotgun out the door. At the same moment, Cruz raises her shotgun and fires at something Jean cannot see. Jean hears a tiger cry out and whimper. A tense moment passes before she speaks. John? I'm right behind you, Florian? What just happened? I shot the damn thing and it ran away. It took a round of buckshot like a champ. I can't believe it. I even had time to shoot him. Or her. Anyway, that scratched one tiger maybe. There's nothing in here. We need to get back to the helm. Distant gunshots dissipate into the storm as Lindsay and Val walk to the helm. Sounds like the crew's privy to your little plan. Our plan? We're in this together, remember? Actually, we're not. See, I don't know how much Joey knew, but I was kept completely in the dark. If anything, I'd say you and Dr. Kemp are both guilty of fraud. And that's neither here nor there. Come on. Dr. Kemp is already in the helm. He's embattled in the shouting match with Captain Walker. You son of a bitch! Do you realize what you have done? You are responsible for multiple deaths. Hey. Would you please just calm down and be reasonable? I know I screwed up, but yelling at me won't fix anything. Here are my associates, Val Fortunato and Ray Lindsay. Maybe they can help clear up this whole misunderstanding. Dr. Kemp, I came here to have a word with you, but it seems my point's already been made. You've acted with complete reckless disregard. Me? You should ask Val how the cats got out in the first place. Everyone is silent. The group turns to Val. Please, Val, enlighten us. Oh, well, earlier in the evening, Dr. Kemp sent me to feed the cats and to give them tranquilizers. And that was just before they got loose. You son of a bitch. Take it easy. Take it easy, okay? I don't know what happened. They must have spat out the pills I put in their meat. Right, and now I feel vindicated. It's not my fault the animals got loose. You're insane, Dr. Kemp. How dare you talk to me like that? I'm paying you handsomely for... You can keep my paycheck. I want nothing to do with your shady operation. We need to stop arguing and figure out what to do. Well, we're secure in here. We can't just wait until we get back to port, then wait for animal control. Captain, I disagree. We need to check on the rest of the crew. Namely, Chef and the other sailors. Yeah, I guess you're right. Has anybody heard from Joey? I think he's still in the commons. Cruz, call the commons phone and see if Joey answers. Got it. Shit. No response. Seems like Joey's gone missing. Damn that stupid son of a bitch. I'll search the ship and see if I can find him. Someone should come with me. Cruz? I'll go. I've got to do something that'll help clean up this mess. Let me have one of those shotguns though. I feel a bit naked with nothing but my wheel gun. John nods. Zir, take mine. I need to stay up here and navigate the ship. Here, take mine. I need to stay up here and navigate the ship. I can come too. 3 guns is better than 2. I'll stay here and get on the radio. Let the authorities know we have a couple delinquents on board. Alright, let's go find Joey, Chef and the rest of the sailors. Jean, Lindsay, and Cruz march through the rain by and by. They go downstairs to the lower deck and investigate the dining hall. Jean opens the door and looks inside. The lights are off and she can't see anything in the shadows. Jean enters slowly with her shotgun extended. She flicks the light switch. When the lights come on, she scans the room quickly. No signs of anyone or the tigers. Lindsay and Cruz follow her in. They cross the room to the galley door. John swings the valve and pulls open the door. Chef is standing on the other side with a baffled expression. His arm has been torn and his white shirt is soaked red, but he managed not to lose his chef's hat. Jesus Christ, it's you guys. For a second, I was worried the cats learned how to open doors. He chuckled humorlessly. Chef, are you okay? You look pretty bad. I'm fine. Stop the bleeding. Can't really grab anything with the arm though. You should come with us. We've got medical supplies in the helm. Alright, sounds good. Cruz leads the way back up into the rain, and an orange blur swipes out of her view in a blink of an eye. Holy shit! Chef springs back into the galley and slams the door shut behind him. Jean and Lindsay rush out of the deck to try to help Cruz. When they step into the rain, they see a tiger swishing its tail as it disappears to the corner of the car toward the cargo hold. Cruz's limp feet dangle along behind. Son of a bitch! Jean says nothing. There was no signs of Cruz, like she never even stood there. The captain is on the radio talking to the mainland. Mike Kroger is busy navigating the ship. Dr. Kemp leans toward Val and whispers, "We've got to get out of here before we get to the shore." I was thinking the same thing. Lifeboat? Yeah, lifeboat. What about Joey? He could be cat food for all we know. We cannot just leave him. We'll see if we can find him along the way. I'm not going to bend over backwards. The crew is distracted. The crew is distracted. I'm going to walk to the head and slip out. You wait 60 seconds and do the same thing. No way. I'm going first. What? You got me in the whole mess by talking me into this. Hey, come on, now's not the time. All I was supposed to do is feed the damn cats. Well, you fucked that up, and now here we are. You son of a bitch. Quiet. Look, whether you believe it or not, I'm on this trolley ride with you, and I don't like where it's headed any more than you do. So if you must go first, then go. I'll wait a minute and catch up. Okay, let's do this, Dave. Standing over the radio console, the captain nods and keeps talking. Yeah, that's right. I said tigers. Look, I don't know how. Just get animal control to the port before we show up. Val and Kemp rendezvous in the rain on the upper deck. There you are. Well, there you are. Come on. Let's get down to the lifeboats and before one of those assholes spots us and locks us in the brig. Yeah, or before one of your cats eats us. Very funny. Let's go. The two men sneak down the stairs and head towards the rear of the ship. Neither man is familiar with the cargo ships, but they assume the lifeboat must be on the lower deck. When they find the lifeboat, Joey is already there. He's tugging uselessly at the tarp strapped over the lifeboat, and he doesn't seem to notice their approach. Hey, a deep shit. Joey jumps and spins like a startled cat. Jesus, I thought you were one of the sailors. Where are you going? What are you doing, Joey? Are you going to take the lifeboat and leave us all? No. Val and Kemp look at each other and laugh. Well, don't worry about it. I'm sure there's room for 3. Maybe, if you can figure out this crazy thing out. I've been working on it for 20 minutes. You've been standing out here completely exposed for 20 minutes? You have been standing out here completely exposed for 20 minutes? Yeah, so? Joey, you're aware there are tigers loose on the ship, right? Joey laughs and rolls his eyes. Yeah, sure. Okay, guys. He's a serious Joey. The man-eating tigers we were transporting got loose. Joey's expression settles into a solemn seriousness. We were shipping tigers? You're kidding me, right? Why were you abandoning ship if you didn't know there were tigers? When I went looking for you guys, I overheard someone talking in the helm. It sounded like they were ratting us out. They said they were going back to California. Yeah, idiot. Because of the tigers. Oh. Well, this is all starting to add up. Well, come on. Let's get the hell out of here. This tarp is tied down with a bungee cord. Joey, are you drunk or just complete fucking moron? Joey says nothing. Val unhooks the bungee cord and carefully pulls it away. All you have to do is push the 2 hooks together. Just be careful so it doesn't come back and smack you in the face. Val? What? He turns up and sees what renders the 3 men speechless. A large tiger stands on the deck watching them, its fur soaking in the rain. The eyes are dilated and laser focused on the 3 men. Oh shit. Shut up. What do we do? I said shut up. The tiger lowers his head and prepares to pounce. Oh, fuck this. Joey spins round and breaks into a sprint down the wet deck. Joey! Kemp lifts the tarp and jumps into the lifeboat, then yanks it back down over him. The tiger seems startled abruptly by the abrupt chaos, but now it's ready to pounce again. Val decides to hang on the railing over the ocean. Val leaps over the edge of the ship and holds onto the railing with all his strength. He hangs on the side of the boat with his knees knocking into the metal hull. The ocean wind tears at his cheeks. It's surprisingly painful. Joey screams in the distance for a brief second. A moment passes as the ocean roars beneath him. The tiger's paws stamp through pools of water collecting on the deck. Val feels the cat's whisker brush his fingers and fright loosens his grip. Then he feels its breath. The cat is smelling his hand. It reaches its paw gently, sticks its claws into Val's fingers. Ah shit! Val kicks his feet in wild panic and the cat responds by grabbing his hand with both paws. It seems to be playing with him. He shrieks and loosens his grip. Val drops into the ocean like a falling rock. He flails his arms and tries to paddle, but the undertow sucks him down. As he drags underwater, his screams are muted in a bubbling abyss. But by some miracle, the current yanks him past the ship's propellers. He emerges disoriented in a swamp of sea foam, left behind by the passing ship. Then, when he regains his bearings, he begins to appreciate the gravity of this situation. The boat is driving away without him. He reaches his arms out of the water and screams, "Hey, wait! Help!" His head dunks underwater and he desperately treads back to the surface. When he resurfaces, he screams again, "Man overboard!" Nobody seems to have noted his cries for help. Somewhere in the back of his head, he recalls swimming classes he took as a youth. He paddles frantically after the cargo ship. 15 minutes pass and he stops swimming. His arms and legs burn with exhaustion. He stops to tread water and looks at the ship. It looks like a toy on the horizon, tiny and plastic. He looks around. There's no coastline or any other ship anywhere in sight. He weeps in crushing desperation and keeps swimming. Back on the deck, the Tiger drags Joey Haynes' fresh corpse and drops it next to the lifeboat. A small swarm of cubs comes out from under the stairwell and begins feasting on the dead flesh. The Tiger turns its attentions to the strange creature hiding under the tarp. It reaches in and paws gently under the hidden lump. The small creature is trying its best to stay motionless, but the cat hears a faintest whimper. The cat stands up on its hind legs and drops its forelegs onto the funny lump under the tarp. Kemp shrieks as the weight of the tiger crashes down on him. The animal grabs the tarp with its teeth and violently reveals the terrified prey. The man just sits curled up inside the lifeboat while the animal watches him curiously. It paws him as if to check if he's actually alive. Kemp can hear the baby animals feasting on the corpse of his companion. While he does his best to try to stay still, the tiger leans its head inside and bites the collar of his shirt. It drags him gently out of the lifeboat and drops him on the deck. The rain falls in heavy sheets against the metal floor. Kemp just sits there, shielding his head and neck from the blow that cannot be deflected. The cubs turn their attention from the fresh kill and looks at the cowering animal. The adult tiger steps back and sits down to observe while the cubs excitedly prepare for their first kill. Chef is napping in the corner of the room with bandages around his arm. Jean, the captain, and Lindsay huddle in the corner and discuss their next move. This is getting out of control? Jesus, I know that. You got a goddamn suggestion or what? How about this? I'm going to solve this problem myself. What the fuck are you talking about? They're cats. They're cats? Cats like to nest. I'll find their nest and lock it up. Otherwise, I'll shoot every last one of them. Fucking A. No, I don't think so. That sounds like a suicide mission. Everybody's accounted for. All we need to do is sit here and keep the door shut and wait. Mike will take us into port and animal control will do the rest. With all due respect, Captain, I prefer Jean's plan. And I'm going if you like it or not. The ship's safety is my responsibility. I should have stopped this from happening in the first place. The captain opens his mouth to protest, then hesitates. Alright, go ahead. I'll stay on the radio and let you know if there's any news. Good luck, John. Sure. And if you don't mind, I'll be on my way to put these fucking cats. And I'll come with. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to shoot a fucking tiger. Jean and Lindsay march out of the helm and stop in the rain. Before we go any further, we should come up with a plan. Where do we go first? Upper deck. Where to search for the tiger's nest? Upper deck. There's nothing here. Cargo hold. Commons. Before she has a chance to turn around, Jean can hear the tiger growling behind her. Lindsay mutters almost inaudibly. No sudden movements. Lindsay mutters almost inaudibly. No sudden movements. Jean turns around slowly to face the beast. The adult tiger knocks her to the ground before she knows what's happening. The last thing she hears is Lindsay's agonized screams. Everything goes black and Jean falls into a state of overwhelming placidity. The captain calls out through the radio. John, are you there? Come in, over. No reply. Come in, John. What's your status? God damn it. When the ship lands in California, the event that follows is known as the Santa Barbara Massacre. Animal control agents sweep the cargo ship room by room before the remaining tigers launch a dizzying ambush. Animals killed one agent and managed to wound 3 more in the ensuing chaos. The survivors retreat back to the safety of the port. An hour-long siege ensues before the local SWAT unit finally storms the ship. 2 more operators are killed in the fight against the final remaining tiger. The authorities retrieve the survivors from the helm and cabins before they begin tallying the dead. Animal control agents take away the surviving cubs to be euthanized. However, the cubs mysteriously disappear just hours before their scheduled demise. In the end, life returns to normal for the survivor. Posthumously, Dr. David Kemp became known by the local media outlets as Kitten King or King of Cats. But those who survived the incident and burned the Black Grove just remember him as an asshole with way too much money. Casualties: SSO Genevieve John Antonia, Ray Lindsay, Valerio Val Fortunato, Joseph Haynes, First Mate Florian Cruz, Sailor Brian Morrison, Sailor Eric Taylor, Dr. David Camp. Survivors: Captain Frank Walker, Navigator Mike Kruger, Chris Chef Hammond, and 4 undisclosed sailors. Too bad, buddy. Bad ending.